hema estate land. If you say me am asa simple am yeso adwuma. Me call lands commission say me call appoint documents. Me call your site na estate land. Enti me call tochi aka. Enti when enye botaya ejina so say nti ya ma obi DC ya na me ye ntu. When tire say onipa ni mu ade. Na na chi ahema asofofo ina. E dey say we assemblies of God sofo. Assemblies of God asofo. Am wo Ghana am penny na me bisa no question we say. Your assemblies of God sofo a odi hina. Utwa dwan bodua egu obi ne ba pampa so ana. Em say onabo bright we ku bobe de ye nyina ye nim no. O kon so esima. Sabi anya ono ne dia ni kwan say you bia because why ye bebre ama ye wo.
Enti nana abena nyako otoso emienu abakuma hema twifo hemai nananom atrankonya na abusua panyi ema adeche abrade abusua otwifo hemai ene nana yaw asamo otoso miensa o se his excellency Jubilee House begida Sarawuta na do danko akufuado so enra ena na omusu fra utwa adwan nyina se papa no memfa ne mra no wo mo boa
himamani yeshia ya bo abranti bi say o me DC wa e bo ni drink five kwa increase ni himamani na ni agi obi aso abranti wi die ofata not a single person wa position na ya bo ni drink say o mra me ye utie na say ni o hima kan ayina na kwatwe manfre wadi fo na ono apokrim ho aseti odi save of speech and ed ade wa himamani traditional area ha oni ni nua mpi bracket bi ko gugu ena yes ade asem na wo ka se abranti na ayisi enya no kre mpanyi se na onim to ne yede ni dia tweko abranti no ho wonsem anka ade na dada wan frɛ no wa mo no sa charge sabranti no ho wasem ana se yebeti manya himama nkwa ne fom assembly no denja fo kan nke se futu safre o mu nyina abo de charge etwasu ma ansa ni mani nyina nyi no so na wo de wo no onua no nko akọ ha nkofo oni metwome fo a wo munye himafo akofo wo baabi na anu makọhye kuku baabi aye press conference ndi anya no kure sabranti no bi atia na branti anya boni bia na branti no so o de ehwe obetuma ye adwuma nsema na nanu ebeka ya gontompo ni kure bia ni himama bia no wa utia branti no asem baako kura no utia no onye boni ntia himama mi de jaman ni a onye boni ntia bia tie ma president mu se asema e ba mfra mema wate no anya no kure branti no o mani nya pem
nana yaw asamo otoso miensa adehye abrade ana abrade de hibusua e wotwifo heman ena yakote ne no
ya ba konkoko na yegusu a se de kan de atomo anim no ya se suku ka bia konya nkwanhia na awiai ama je se awreho na ye piaban bofo na akwa amiando obape ye de munchiremu ebeba wonya ma ye de ye nkonkopiem ewo Ghana mrase odwafiem na mrase odwafiem wadakulu abato mbasia so wonu mrase odwani wono nyafo kwame agbojagbo so won de ka say na ne nsam ya waka 20 ase Ghana mapani na adanko akufu ado hwe no one ne dom titiriwu na asoafo ministers oni wonum ebu mai wonum hwe no wonum abre wonum sam na eden wonum a adauroma wonum fadi bra ne nto enya adwuma ne yonso de ko jese omuro rosan no obi ampa ba bi nkonkotena santi a wonu nyafo kwame agbojagbo so waka nsam ye tese na ye mrase odwafiem so afo ya wo hwe akobadie ensam so minister of transport ura kwekofori asiama na oso ba mrase odwafiem na obeyi nsam bia no afei duru onum ne ye papa no a ye hunu na kira kwan eno ntonchen so no zabra no a wonum efra setrase no na domkuni no wonum ma ye wo mrase odwafiem eye edunson 17 ana domkuma no wonum eye nipa edunum mienu 52 minority members and 17 majority members and na mrase odwafiem na no ana wonunyafo agbojese na they say ye ka ahifo na minority na ahifo na majority woni a wonum yeso mu na edomkuma no wonum emudodo adunum mienu 52 ana na wa asetra sa abra mo ayefra mu domkuni yesem na mo doso no mo nkrofo nipa dunson pe jaza domkuni fo no pambra se jafiem baba na akwadworo ne sabin kate ho ensem fatanko a enti won de wo ka se adawroma mampani na adanko akufu ato wone ne dom said amamra ne se ye adwumaden no nya sa na onum ye no ondi amamu no edi akro.
The president can resign. He can actually resign before his term because there's nothing stopping him to doing so. If he's not even in the country, the ministers are not in the country. You said one of them called you at 11 p.m. and the leadership cannot be found. Mr. Speaker, meanwhile we have serious problems in this country. Serious problems. Very, very serious problems in this country. I know you are not a member of NPP, so you are also not happy. Mr. Speaker, do something about it.
We when you for Kwame Agbojo Vince, ya woye adakulaba to mbesa so mra se dwani anu o kire se abra o man no ye wo sembebre ye tete ye ne ha yen na wo se ye hwe kamera se dwafo kire se asetena no kokwasa na domkuni wonum ede eyo
yeko yensantwani Emmanuel Ajete eho owa homa no so na enkra a free eastern region atem kukrantumi eba ene se ohene etu na hemfo nkotoa so omunyina nchen efri na akro mom kogina baabi akenkenka amye fatini esi wo so wo munim no mote zoom na nate zoom wo hode ene omutirate eba ne sen Emmanuel Ajete una be kire ma kire ni o ti aba ho
yo Piesie me mo bibi ajo de ba promise TV ni promise FM so se obisam se den na esi ama da sebre ye boama da ko autoso mienu ama watu na hemfo mienu ahodo makoma na ya de di kan sana hene de autoso biom ankobi ahene ana de autoso miensa ankobi ahene de otwato chidom de ke yenim senka ono ana na tu a nanka watiem otu no watiem obona na chidom na ene de na na frɛ emergency meeting a ni nyina ne se ahemfo anan afa na se asese nyama ensem patanko a ana mo ye ditia atim kokrantumi man no ene adonten a esom atim abuakwa traditional council osagefo amotio for penny ni nyina ne se sana hene no ye frɛ no kwasi kwache grant yi otwa ensase ton ama wese waton aton university asase anananom ede ato honom ese daachi bi omo ba besi university ewo kokrantumi nananom asase so no waton asase ni nyina ama ehun nsem aba bepie mu anvi honom ankobi ahene ne na ankobi ahema enso esi omo ahemfo ene omo ahema afo wo se omo piem ana omo tenase no ma ahemfi omo esi omo ahemfi no omo se omo bodwa nanane ada aso ne na egu abonten na chidomhene enso efwa sanyama we nyina so nyama ekoso ewo kokrantumi kokrantumi emfa ne ntoma pa emfra nyina no da sebre boama da kon toso mienu transe ehwe din no se da bi nananom omadi ne hwamo o kire mu a o se sana hini bedi ade be mfie be de ohodie no akonta de akonta papa pie no no ma sana hini abebu ade akire no na empo obubo sika bi so ama sana hini etimi ba edi musika no emu 10,000 Ghana cedis ede ba se osre nananom omomfa nche ne sika ni na de aka no 30,000 Ghana cedis no oberekan omabona ebe kan ne ya nana efre emergency meeting ya owantimi amfesika na ma nana kirem se ono ade a wo ye ahemfo kan ni nyina so emfantu omhofo se obi bia obedi ni hwamo obe na adwe so odemra ne be che ne nsem ode na didie ebe hunu nkrofo beje nkrofo nsem sika de enya de a ebi besi ewo achim kokwatumi nananom asase so biom enti ode kokobo ema na ahemfo kan no so omonhwe omo so ye na mimi abade ewo mu aya rewosem na ewo mu na ni kan se nana ebopo we nyina no oni obi ansusu ho ene ofre emergency meeting aye se ba aye no na se eyeputupuru aye obi a enwanwa a nkobi ahema na ewo mu oba besi a na ewo mu no opo nani a na nisuo ewa nana aka kire se omamu eye posome mienu abusia panifo a ewo abusia sa awatu omu nyina mu no omomfa adehye kokro efa mekire no na onsa inside enkire no eti mini abase obisa me achim kokrantumi ya esi ewo ho no
sa so cha baby anyo sensas ton ho nyina so adidi ho hanso sa anti cha nanam cha
o no ne de ande anu ohio University land ayeyi ato
na se eni etranton wankasa
mumesi school no mbotom
eno na ka eyesa ke benya sum nkrofo so be suo pa e won sa seton ho eno anye ye na ankran area ho nso dia na ato blow so ne se kantwa edua bobo tire bobo asum bobo karate bobo ne ne keka ho nti we di omafo obe oma toto asase ne yin bi besiri o bi bebo se pa yo Emmanuel Ajete kai ko keri wo ya de ene wo mani bon
we Promise Radio and Promise Television and numero nsia nsema do ya yensaka ana Kaseɛ bɔ kwan so yɛde mamona sɛ de yɛdi kan de ato mo anim dada sɛ apuemantem okoko we kura de nkɔkɔ na nkɔkɔ no amane bɔ ya yensaka kyerɛ mu sɛ na sukuu ka bi akɔ akonya nkwanhyia ma sukuu mɔfra bɛ sɛ nsia de yesusu se wonum ya ahwere won kwa ne sa enkran kumase kwantempo so nkokɔ ene ye kan na yenua na kwa miando aba manso yenhwɛ na yenyi nkyere mu firi nkyɛn na na atimenka
dema na metunka
amane boy yenya ne fia ni o hwɛ video no bra Promise Radio Facebook uba Promise Radio Facebook school my friend bi ne ade wo mato stretcher so twu mu koyi ana asamo na kwame wadama boye nkyere mu ai
yo bema ebe boss ebe no mienu na wie yi na yɛhyɛ ase nya ne ntie sɛ asɛm bi asi ɛwɔ nkɔkɔ na nkyea bypass no so bypass no yɛ kwan foforo a ɛbɔ ho mienu a mampani kofo bɛyi yɛ na ɔmpɛ sɛ traffic bɛbɔ apɛsi wɔ nkɔkɔ township no nti yɛyi to nkɔkɔ n'akyi a sɛ wofiri Kumasi bɛsen kɔ nkran na ɔmpɛ so bɛdi traffic so ɔbɛtwam direct saa so na wofiri nkran so ba bɛsen akɔ Kumasi na ɔmpɛ so bɛdi traffic so akɔfa nkɔkɔ kuro no mu a na watwam direct de akɔ na kuro baako ɛwɔ hɔ no ɛde nankyea na nankyea hɔ no nɛnɛ wie school bi ɛwɔ nkɔkɔ kom hɔ abrɔ no bi ɛfrɛ ne sɛ Asubɔne White House a school yi din ɛde Ampea Memorial Preparatory School Hyundai Grace bi omde ayo school bus said ye ne school kwala pon ma ya fan kwala yi ene Ghana school bus wa woni said ye tie kwala yi e bi tete so mienu ne me ensaso a hye seat yi nyina mu ma ene se odu na ntia ho a ye se o said e kwan ne tie no 2 ko finkran ko Kumasi 2 so free Kumasi e be sia konkran na nam si ye dance si ho nye ho papa bia sa ha no kra ka betimi aye U10 ana bibi me the traffic ne ade asi nti se wankasa o ba utimi ya hwe ya because sometimes no le kra bi o me kita car na moto na me de ba aye se me tete okwan ne ho na mo so obi ama na ma ye ntema bu asim na ko cross way na ko fa ha that kind of kwan bi na ye experience wa ha ai ne Fofia nkoto ata se DC bi owo Asante Mantemu ne V8 ya Nissan 4x4 yo mukitei running into Hyundai Grace ya fa mofre ya brapani eseweni ense okache so hwe footage sa media sene no a ene enyan papa cha se madam ono kra tigate na no akwala ne bi no fie ne oyi na ama ono no obeyi akwala na si form no ono kra de si ameno gaze de dan kran nkwala no so wone a wo hu se na dwumadi ne ko na edi kan koto wo so no boy amane ne chese o man kasa kra sasa nkwala no ha mani nka be se be so ne ko no nkron so edugu pragem so mani kan fo mo ko hospital sa nkwala no nya dia no mo te asesa enti na chese se wo hwe mu a ya ntiasem de enenyan
na osi DC bika ene kobo school bus no
sa pepepe na yenya na entia ye bomodin si betimi across check because ye koduru ono na driver na ne omo mote sa 4x4 no de obi ene waka na menu na apra kogu amna ne mti sa particular car na de na obi a enti ba entia yenya ne say because sha sa 2021 sa Nissan 4x4 ya de ma DC fui ebi na osha na osha stickers e bo ho na je say betimi aye aban pani bi na yeguso aye probi we say you know who exactly that car belongs to DC kwa ene dia na
saka no da so da mena no bia na wo bia na
kan hu bi o sha footages no a obo say footage bi ama send no I say we kakra bi mu a car me nu bi
aha ena kan ba baby sase baabi ehun se Kaseɛ mienu we ya baako de apim baako to pay kwan no no ana se accident na tu wonu ndom ko she
na movie o mu nyina free kwan no so dia kogu ho no kwan no de dual carriage ye two lanes two ko na two so be sen
ya samo
de me pese me tim man pani tie ne se yema oman we mu yenye serious kitwe bi yenye serious kitwe bi san se sa bia ye ho accident we see ye no school bi wo ho ye friend hour of power people school no so wo ho e no so sa junction no so and you can imagine the risk and sa nanchia junction no so no mpanifo ni nti make ye omuti nanchia junction no so ya na articulator binu mu ne ma bia be park as sunlight wo ho nti no se wo pay free sa ho na akoko si ekwa fofo nim na wan to bo ase anya hwe ye hwe se ka bi ba na ka bi ma utisim no no hia oni wo hia eno anu obi anu betina ye emergency reverse o ko ne wo bada ti na bi beti benya siasa nti the esi no I hope say era wo sem de enso fi ne de ko kopum se bosumi ikura be wu no se mpanifo betina be take action se mo hu se mo aye ade no na omafo betina cross from lane we mu dia ene mungu okota ne ye na mo nya ne search we mo bi on sa ha ne ya U10 to do what to bo ase traffic bi kura na mo de esi ho rapa ne so ti de make na say
ya to ase pa ya de to ase na mpanifo na anti ase
na o ti tete because o de car ba na person o cross ko de na ji say fa ne say car every Kumasi e kon kran no I just say me amekita me kan person me cross ba de other I say me face me fa be pedestrians say so mo pa no face car na e ba no e kita ko pe me say car ni na atwa mo na say me cross akọ the other side na we no car no nya fault na bibi no by force no tisi baby a me say me dodge pedestrian na
o tia fa so monka fra nana
yes, we can save ourselves. Ghana agro adults were too much. A hard drink. This is not the first time. I know. Ka Bobby to say Stakis to Nele Tuna. It was a baby. I said, yes, yeah. And go pum that bay.
Nana, ya no, I say, now come ando. Anna, what the man wanting to buy. The coco. I see school cabby. Hinda Grace bi na ka bi di akoboto na ka no ade kokko boto no o manfo susu se aban kra chimpanifo bi ka ene se mofra be sensia de asemo je video no asade oba tansi osi o tinisuo me be ko school aba araho
ipe mobo
enkuanim
yo Yan free Eastern region apoemantem na yanko encrimantem Ghana mrashabedwafie yenyina enche kra na yemu bia eye sabi ntrumuntu dwumadie yencheke fili e wo Ghana ha no ye bose fi se yetete free mrashabedwam se akatom ne bro akakotowa mabia na emra no aba bedwa ama so obi koye bi ne de ko mrashabedwam anase de ko kotoa ye betimi enya mra bi na ye gina so de adi na asem no na wodi fa ya twe na so na wo bill no a enya meye mra no emu a ewo mu ama se obi ekoye bia yetimi de koto afiase nene bill no ekomra sebedwani ye wokwan e befa so a kosi se emra sebedwafo beje atomum ansa na kosi baabi na afehwe ene na ekro no abeye emra nene ekomra sebedwafie no a kabedwafo ekohwemu age atom no hwa na owura Alexander Fenyumaken woye mra sebedwam dom Kaseɛ na no ni abedi akire wose da bi asem na enyina wonto omobo ase ansa ne nkiremu ene se die womu se obi kwaye LGBTQ ni bia obetumi akoda afiase no won de wonyi ntum wodna adwene kɔ hɔ a ohunu se emwa papa ba amfa ne chiki emfa so obi ahyɛ ni so safi se obi ekwaye gay sebentrumuntu LGBTQ wa ewo se yetimi de ko ba bi kɔ hwɛ na adwene mu rehabilitation eboa no ama ne timi free saa de no mu na ɔkɔhwɛ na duafie a ewo de ahwɛ ya na akwaye kɛse ewo hɔ
So, Speaker, the essence of this motion is to afford this August House the opportunity to thoroughly consider amendments I have proposed to the bill with a view of substituting community service for incarceration. The amendments presented in this bill are motivated by a strong conviction regarding the necessity of implementing a more rehabilitative strategy in our criminal justice system, specifically with regards to the issues it tackles. So, Speaker, the issue before us is behavior, and it is my humble view that in dealing with behavioral matters, incarceration is not the solution. It makes the matter worse. That our court system should introduce a more humane, reformative, rehabilitative system where people who breach our law, who sin against our legislation, would have an opportunity to reform and be reintegrated. To jail a person for his sexuality or her sexuality would not be the solution in maintaining our Ghanaian family values and ensuring proper human sexual rights. Mr. Speaker, in the list, such individuals who get into our jails become worse off. Mr. Speaker, as a law student in my final year at Makwala, upon visiting in Sawom with my colleagues, it became clear that inmates were being sodomized. It became clear that people were rather getting deeper into that habit and that behavioral aspect of our culture that we dislike. It is clear, and I need to emphasize without reservation, that this motion does not stem from any opposition to the bill by itself, but conversely, I wholeheartedly endorse the guiding principles and goals that inform this legislation. Nevertheless, Mr. Speaker, like I said, and for emphasis, I strongly hold the conviction that the integration of community service as an alternative to incarceration will substantially bolster the efficacy and compassion of our judicial system. I dare say, Mr. Speaker, that will be retrogressive should we insist as a house on a third reading with these incarceration provisions in the bill.
Yo, and to us who know Swan Codemono, Nana no more na duafie bi no mo koe no omo do mani to form do maso to form tete say omo ye no pa nti so e be ma okọ ha ene na ne to adi honhom mo ne to betue mo ana okotuetue obi to mo ana wo yo ba na okọ ne kese wo nti enu die omo hwe ne yie na sponsor of the bill just say de waji emra no agina mu pa say meye emra wo man mu pa ye emra hye badwani Sam George wase owura afadwoma kan asem na wo ka no empusu kramo. My colleague, yes. In fact, there is no argument against the second consideration stage. However, Mr. Speaker, I must say my colleague is abusing Order 171 because, Mr. Speaker, the last time he took to the floor for almost 1 hour and made the same argument, and then we ended up voting. He has not said anything new. He never said anything new today, which he didn't say even in a longer rendition. Mr. Speaker, he made a point that he would prefer, community service. And he was made to understand that as we speak, Mr. Speaker, there's no law in our country governing community service. And he says that he's talking about a bill that is being drafted. But the rules of this House are quite clear. That is not even known to this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I hear him talk about so many things. I just draw the attention of my colleague to one of the provisions in this bill. Mr. Speaker, those who carry out surgical operations, we are talking about one of the crimes which can send you to jail, is if somebody begins to try to reassign gender. You have to be one of the brainiest people to carry out surgical operations. We are not talking about people stealing plantain. We are talking about people who are carrying out fundamental surgical operations. So is it your point that you are saying that those people should get community service? Mr. Speaker, colleagues are already in agreement for a second consideration stage. Let's do that. So we can do that. But his argument that we should go back and reconsider something that he brought up, considered and voted upon, I think is an abuse of Order 171 and should not be tolerated. But I agree with him that we can go through a second consideration stage. Orasam Nate George.
Yo, yanko yanim na ana brase jafie bedwako ya wonbu pete mun konta Public Accounts Committee akwa setrana ni mu no na ewose University of Ghana Legon penifo eba be yinsem bi ano kwane a afa so ama sika huduo bi ashiri wonu na ase abo wonu afi kura so emre bi o mabubu so eni ne ekeka woni ade a na numu na babeto odwa se nyumaku ahodo bi atimi aka abomu a University of Ghana Legon wonum di Legon ka America choppable dollars yemfiansa montasium kan na asene no wo pipi ba ko akiri po miensa 1.3 million US dollars na nyumakuo no ebi ne General Legal Council afei sikakura bia ahudu bi ya kire banks bi ana telecommunication companies bi ani nyumakuo ahudu mako bese oha ani aduasa miensa 133 ana aka abomu ya wonum aboabo aka bebrebe ano saade gu wonum a wonum at University of Ghana Legon ya wonum empese wonum ebetua na enkyeremu no kakra ene se ase nyumaku adwe University of Ghana Legon wonum ensa asini bisu na eja wonum tete edi dwuma bi kura banks yi woma biebie nkura bata school mu campus woni ade na tuwa ye wasu mutia na sika wasu mutia de Malegon wo mutia na aboa no aba be sisabre na no ana University of Ghana management wonu yi nsema no wo mkirem se sika no ma ne nka mo mani abre kwambi ombefa so ombeje no ombefa so ombejeje pa.
You know that this was a point of difficulty. I set up a special task force to ensure results of these monies, and so the director, who was the co-chair, will provide the details.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the receivables, the Ghana CD ones, we have been able to recover 594,028, leaving an outstanding of 691,000 pence. With the dollar amounts, we've been able to recover 1,033,495, leaving an amount $1,161,045 for the banks, most of them in themselves.
But then there are other very institutions in here, like these telcos that are still owing, like Airtel, Tigo. I see them here. I see Taser Company also owing utilities and all that. I see Village Canteen, and all these. Are they still owing in your books?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. These are tenants, and it's an ongoing transaction that happens on a daily basis. We are using all options. We even still work with them, pay up, and then you incur that this is what is happening, and we are following them, exploring all options. Those that are proving difficult, we have actually handed them over to the council to also inquire. We are doing all to use all options available to us.
Yo, na ejese kadi shopa neno ana ekuo no jomtrani Public Accounts Committee jomtrani ononyafo James Close Aveti o chirim se the bi kwan bia so sika no e wo se University of Ghana Legon penifo bomodin na wonum jeje wonum den dade na aka teko se de aka sika kura bia ye di school ni ka ne nyumaku awdo ye di wonum kanyina no kwan bia so so mu jiska no.
My concern is that the debt should not be growing, it should be what? Declining. If it's declining, it means yielding more result, better result than if it's growing. Okay. All right. So continue to make the effort to recover the money.
Wey ayo for James Kluche Avezi ana yetini ni.
Yanko kakra ebedie Kaseɛ emu. Yeso adwuma yeni na katua efata no nti eba sa woyɛ bosom adwuma. Bosom ne so ne sika no amo a ene egi sa odon sa guuti. Teacher so oni adwuma afoforo bia no a. Na wey ama National Association of Graduate Teachers e twani tiafra Nagrat and Coalition of Concerned Teachers ni nyina e akyerɛkyerɛfo nkabo mu kuo ahodo. One was the Office of the Special Prosecutor. One more katua, what an sato so, Adania. One was the ghost name CB and some DB Abba Bankratemu, and to him, and a chacha for bear 400, Nyadi or Makatuaba. Na chacha for Kuemum penny for Sidebi, Bamugani, Bomuntiasie. Sasapa ne Conedia, again arena taba duba. One boss one watch penny for Fisaquamoya. Gida be de kill, if ye kura. Dian kwada bedie o yiri bedie okunu bedie light be ni ko mi nini eni ne akeka ho ento mo gyina so ama Office of the Special Prosecutor eye afiada etnifie ya se etnifie dru no musika na ama on ba wo so mo.
It is the view of the unions that questioning where the OSP got his authority from, and even if he does have that authority, whether it is not prudent to have informed the managers of these teachers, the employers of these teachers, that is Ghana Education Service, before directing that their salaries should be suspended. Is the OSP telling us that he has the power to direct workers not to work or direct workers not to be paid their salaries? On what basis?
Yo, enti enono ora Angel Kabonu when grad president nenuna King Ali Audu one also na president Emma Coalition of Concerned Teachers eye achechere fo nkabomu kuo no baako one also edede de atudwa wose court nko na betime de onsa ato osika so nenya office of the special prosecutor.
The teachers were validated by their heads of institutions that are supposed to validate them, meaning that they are at post. Controller and Accountant General pays the people. Controller transfers the money to the person's bank, and then a special prosecutor goes to instruct the bank that though the person has been paid and the money has come, block the person's account. Don't allow the person to access the account. In this country, it is only the courts that have the power to garnish somebody's account.
King Ali Audu, Coalition of Concerned Teachers, Ekono president.
Na ensamfo from owura akwadwo mpiani so akyerɛ na adwen de afa mampani aswafo nsakyerɛmu rishafo ya wɔde aba no ɛho owura akwadwo mpiani ɛkyerɛmu sɛ rishafo ne de amamra konsu han no mampani kwanya so wɔde ɛyɛ woni tumi mu sɛ wɔyɛ obetumi ayɛ na enso wɔn de wɔtwa ne tia no abɔ ne tofu a ne ɔka nyina ne sɛ mmra mampani na adan kwakufu ado de rishafo ne de nyame ni mamwa enyamrepa woso hwe sede woma no afi omamu ni nyina yabato aban na rishafu ya waye asoafo afoforo ya wonum ba beko asoya ahodo asoya afoforo ne ade no fe nipa no wo kwatrase akwakosia wa ade na wate honum ne yo ne honum abrabo ase ani ho dwumadie wa hunu nani so na nipa no wonfansua no wo hunu sede asuyeye no dwumadie sitie wo hu nani so no wonte ase no na yato aba ne wawie we no yakoya na ye ban to de rishafo ne de wonkasa enye ne mum emra mampani na dodan kwakufu ado de ban ne de wamwa.
My only concern is it the right time to have this reshuffle? That's my only concern. Otherwise, is the president's prerogative. He decides what he wants to do with his government. If he believes the changes will help him to achieve his aim, fine, you go ahead and do that. But I am thinking 8 months to an election, we don't have any effect on the direction of government. I don't know. Maybe the president knows, or maybe those within his circle know. Those within his circle know this. But to be honest, I think the timing is the problem. Otherwise, it's his prerogative to do a reshuffle as he thinks. We have 8 months to an election. Some of these are new, completely new. Maybe you get them in place by the end of the month, for the middle of next month. How are they going to be able to learn what is within the ministry? Will enable them direct the ministry in a way maybe the president wants them to do now. That's the timing I'm talking about.
Enti anu ra kwampiani nra Valentine's Day mampani na dan kwakufu ado Valentine's gift a wode ma aswafo a wapamu wonum ne woni a wasesan wo no ho adwenkyere ye ekokoso no na owura kwampiani wonso wa kyere na adwen di owura kwadwompiani wa kyere na adwen di afa obiye ya wo kyere se mmra mampani de ba ye de amoakura mampani na dan kwakufu ado nso nra nso ye bio Valentine's Day na osha wo ma kyede no 12 current ministers of state 10 cabinet ministers 2 regional ministers what's the Valentine's gift
yo what's some yasam on masam maimun sam yasam and some ya de mamu Kaseɛ ni mu ensam na park public accounts committee abadwumakuo a ehwese abanyumakuo a aka ebebu nkuntapa ewo munyumadi a omudie mu na bra no ofro omo do omo ba abonten ene eso hu se kukuru bi ekoso odwuma mu a na oba ba yi hu ano na wobodwa na ne enyumakuo ahodo abanyumakuo no aba omo ba kire de wonom eye na owura James Kluche Aveji wono na ye public accounts committee womo epanyi woso ontiase kra se etasi pa se universities ahodo suapon ahodo a eye aban edia no ekwan bi a dodo no afa so to mo no de broni friend procurement no dodo no entwa ye kura betina wo manim no mu busa say we anko ye mfa nto ha wo de ato mfa mo ha wo de aba omo si ofa o daddy ye pa che o next time ye be ni ye pa ebesan ba biam no ma san ye mistake kro no am from so kro no am eno no so we de akoso a che dodo e wo so mu jae.
You've been appearing here and this issue have been coming up. You always promise that you will not do it again. And you are still committing the same crime. Will you want to give me the last assurance? I hope that you will not be cited for uncommitted procurement again.
Enti wote ya na obo obi koko. Eye oba ene ne wo ho. Enti University of Ghana meka se logon for suku no ena eya na omo ho bansensam sa no. Enti Professor Nana Aba Ampia Amfo. Professor Nana Aba Apia Amfo. One Vice Chancellor Emesua Poyi na nenyi so anasa na semo no so ekaye ene sem. Suapon no empanifo omu si abrenkete omu konkoden se kura. O se da bio ebi si bio wo. Nti obeye dwumaden se de beya sade no wonhunu bio.
The challenge has to do with the nature of our business, our institution, and then also the complexities, because we operate in 4 colleges and then the central administration. We had an issue with resource also, procurement officers. Now we have procurement officers in all the colleges. We've improved upon the resource in terms of the procurement officers, decentralizing into the colleges and also the heavy duty units.
Yo, enti ochire mu se omubo adwuma omugu so hihye no mana se de asuapon no etie na friwe so na aba we so eno na ya ekofa sa ohaw no eba na so nyina mu no waje atumu a oguso a wototo enoma.
Enti ayabosha bankani ya papa ni ebedi ho adanse ade ama wo Promise 102.7 ne Promise Television so pacho obankani apa chandeliers, corner light, wall light, gate light, garden light, CCTV, cables ne cameras ne mapa Kumasi adum PZ antiata akofo den mafei okọ ketia Dubai anim hwanso enso yesa aboho Bosheba Plaza no Wesley Methodist ne Central Prison roundabout iso Waipa FM no Waipa TV, Promise TV ni Promise Radio dan mu oba niama no nkania no ne ho pemprade ya yasa ne soro ene fom ne awupe bia ya de ma ne border fom electrical cables are Standards Authority ensa shas ye ne mo amowa ya mu fie ha che ya hia sem ye rewiring no momra Bosheba nchem meje standard cables wo na monfa enkonkwe wiring no na afa jasihye bia ma ne ma pade ensa ye ho usan ye ho a wa na ape yenko yenim na Doma Fifri Krupa be the Potamo Aban Crash be the Doma Central Municipal Chief Executive. Any ononya for Drisa Watara, one worker say, now walk out man for some Kumakuma to Yampa. Agenda 111 ya Bano, Edison, and Israel Sabia, Yesi Makumakoha, any Eduba Konwasi Wonum, Potamonum, the Yasia Monum. Yankropon Yatum, Nesse, Yema Wonmua, Nekasia Kura chain. Doma aya sabia na nsemi wadi tuja ebra na obo apro ahwe wonum agenda 111 wonu de ya yesi am wonum potem wonum pempen so ya akoduro na afedi ye woka ede a kire woni edi ho dwuma na wonum aye nentem na woni sanjrofo ne abadwa ma assembly members wonum ede asia na problem yentie
who are not sure of this to try to visit the project site to see things for themselves so as to believe what the government is doing for the municipality. On completion, it will be a full-fledged hospital with all its component parts, nothing left out. I will never be wrong to tell you that it will be larger than the current Doma Presby Hospital. To make it more accessible, the road from Abuabu to Amasu will be properly constructed to befit the status of the hospital. We should not only be thankful but appreciate the president for this large facility. There are a lot the government is doing for us. The reconstruction of the Tuesday market under the Ghana Security Support Project is receiving a major boost with UDT 4 and 5 coming on board very soon. We only need your cooperation, especially those who will be affected by the project for a smooth implementation. It's equally true to state without any fear of doubt that it is politics that has brought this project with very good intention. Indeed, it is changing the face of development in our municipality. Hence, we should not attach political emotions to drawing back its implementation progress, because at the end of it all, it is going to benefit the citizenry. Ladies and gentlemen, there are other projects that have been completed in the health and education sector, where classroom blocks and CHIPS compounds have been provided in selected communities to provide access to effective service delivery through the hard work and power of lobby of our Honorable Member of Parliament, Honorable Kakuati Mamanu.
Na wasra bedwa ma yetra assembly members ya wonu potem wasa adawro ma wonu modin na wonum ane bedwaku no enkamom to kase na kwani obefa so apre impuntu wompre.
At every level, decision making is very important in our collective effort at working to meet the needs and aspirations of our people. This can only be possible when the virtues of involvement and popular participation are properly embraced. Our people have trust in you and believe in your ability to assist as lead agents of development in the community. We equally trust you will work all out to support the Assembly and government in our delivery of services to our communities. The task ahead is quite Herculean and requires a lot of collaboration, cooperation, sacrifice, compromise, and indeed patience as we engage with different categories of developmental actors in our bid to work together to develop and then serve our people. Our people expect a lot from us. Hence, we should not fail them in this direction. The time has come for us to begin to think outside the box as to how some community challenges can be overcome by our initiatives within our own level and means. It is our responsibility.
Ononya for Drisa Watara ya woye aban krache pani di ma wo manfo ya wonum e wo do man finfini group ma be chiri potamo ene ni ati
Bedia be ya hana be kinkane bejidi se be tie bedabase bejidi se be hwe be yibaye nyankopon enhiramu zamu gaba yanko yenanimu ye ko papa ye emo na wohwe aresabia hodo a ewo Ghana hanom a emprempi no ya na boja ehoden ma wonom so obi epre moja tu no oba akwa awo so obi moja awie ni nyina no ya na ya asem nanso obi hia obi ansa na wa obi nti obetimi atwe moja no atwe bi na wodi abo obi. MTN Ghana Northern Sector otutu anama bi fefe ahwe ama watwe emoja wo becha ma so pete ahodo a ewo Asante Mantem habi na Northern Sector General Manager Emma MTN Ghana ene orani adotemengam woso mani abrepa se ombenya moja no pem enso 7,000 units of blood no mo ache ede ama Kumasi hospital awudo bi enti wo se we de ya na montuo papa enti obi a ebre bi se be so a owan hoden na ne hoden wo nkwa ti apono e wo se oba beboa no so betwe moja ni bi ema obi
enti no one of the things that aids with healthcare so blood now over the years so voluntarily Ghanaians have donate blood no. We have just about 36% of the requirement for the year. We as MTN we came in to support something like this, and we started 13 years ago, 2011. Over the years, every year no, This year, say 6,000 units of blood, but we stretch ourselves. You better say between 7,000 units. And you supporting healthcare in Ghana. You pese obi yare no oko hospital na yes open bladder blood bank no enough blood to give out this year so and that's why your friend is saying Valentine's Day Valentine's Day is about love, it's about giving, and what a better way to give. Say you donate blood on Valentine's Day to help save a life. We're calling on all Ghanaians, say, on a day like this, no, say, Obetimia, donate blood to save a life. Ghana Bedawas.
MTN Northern Sector General Manager, no, Dr. Alexia Osei, one na akọ for not teaching hospital, baby or Jimoja, Etri no transfusion medicine unit. Wano enedano wasi de biara da de beti akokodi ko no emoja omuhia enya asam ketwa
Papa not here use about 80 units of blood every day. Papa not in crown. Yemfa other hospitals on count. It's in the dia in Yamuja. It's more way day and me quantify. Why in Yapa? Oh, send me by the IRSA and IRSA accident to see Nipa cancer for Yamuja, Momoko Wokra Yamuja. And then the hospital so long as it's running 24/7. Moja de and Moja is a yen to me manufacture Moja. And you're free Nipa. It's in the dia or seeing Yamuja need to be born. Yes, akwanhyia no na afi na ye kwakọpẹ nkọfọ abetwi moja ọsọ moja ne obi moja gu hɔ no ma BBC ya ne akọpẹ bi ne ja be save nkakra nya moja MTN for my ade pa my ade ntinka other corporate social responsibilities from other companies it's make if they come on board they be boy pa because moja de nkwa.
Dr. Alexia Osei, Head of Transfusion Medicine Unit, Comfort Noche Teaching Hospital.
Yeguso ya bomo Kaseɛ ɛwɔ Promise 102.7 ɛne Promise Television na so baby bia ya wɔte yɛnka ɛde efiri na wɔhwɛ yɛn efiri bia na soafo ya wɔhwɛ agriculture nsɛm so yɛkyerɛ agricultural minister wononyafo Brian Echampo no ɔkasa yi anu okyerem sɛ abane ɔte akonwa so no akuyafo akoso motade yetuye na womanfo a etwifa wonum atenaye ene wonum abraboso ama niema yeden dia monum na akuyafo ewom no nyaade esa aban no wayi nani dia hinta wonum okirem sa aban ne yehyehyɛ ne ntoto awdo ya aban ne pekwampa obetima fa so atumi aboa ama akuyafo a wonum so ho kan bie ɛwɔ sansu yire no emu no wonum atumi asa afrase na wonum afiri won kuadwuma asenti niema ahodo ya yede ye kuadwuma ne akosi bronika na agricultural input no aban ebomodin na wapebinum edi ama akuyafo se beye na wonum atimi edi juma.
Is looking at the recovery of the farmers, ensuring that they are able to receive inputs, hopefully be able to plant successfully in the coming farming season. We are relying on NADMO and other institutions that are supporting the affected victims recover. Our focus has been so far on ensuring that we have what it takes to support them through input grants for the coming farming season. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the affected victims, we are looking at 100% support.
Ononya for Brian Echampo ana yete nkan.
Yanko apomdi Kaseɛ mu ebiewe. Yeko Doma Central. Doma Central wadi juma fefe bi ama omemufo ene se woni a woni health insurance card no wa mo mu bi wo mo mu de awu no so wa yefofro e de ama wonum enam so fred dom twe dom e ma dom e ko ho a eye Doma Central municipal manager e national health insurance scheme ono so e ko ho na dwumadie no amu na wo twetwe nkrofo din na no asem bi ka asem bi ka ne se nanse watete radio so kasamfoni baby a Pepesimu eba ya nkrofo edi reporto ekoma radio stations ni pepesi no ema womo ekase ya woko hospital a ukuta insurance card na acquire sabia yesa ju sika epi wo insurance card a wo no so na papa ya kiremu eye owura Felix upon yeboa a oye manager yi wa kiremu se eye enuma bi a ekoso bi ntira se de omo friend no co-payment no eno na kofa sa o haw ne ba no se wei no betua kakra hospital no so mudi bi ma hospital de o ma adro so mudi bi be ma no ne sensem bi a ekeka ho ena ya emasa o haw no eba na nso nyina mu no nyese wote wonto so se bi esone a osi abrankate wo konkode se de be ya sa o haw ni nyina e be free ho
issue of co-payment and a top up se obeko hospital na nka eni se ye juice kana ze ofa kakra we den fa so yiri se ye to ho na mo bebre ya ko atia na very soon repamu enche mre ni akire kra no sa no mani nyina be ba be 10 of the past e bia ye ka obi o ha be na free radio so nko hospital ba jimska wo se okwa ya juice ka number 1 evidence of payment ukoba bi no tuye sika institution bia no so ukọ na ure na tuye sika e ma receipts enti ye hwe se wo de sa receipt de be den be ba kro na ye ju hu sika no so no fa ho krata de bra bi kra have aduro no health insurance drug list na aduro no wo so but they attra ma say kokoto so the question is identity a ye tu aduro we ka ye attra ma say kokoto nti ye be ye follow up no ye kokoduro a ne ye be hu ne ye wom ti 20 a omo tra ma say kokoto so omo ni bi wo stock a e wo say atowe mu ha no ye health insurance query facility no man ko fadra okotwe sa no bi ye den e de ba begu because ye tu ho ka ye beto akososo atua nti de nti obi ba ha on stock bi na o mani bi na o ka tse ne so kwa bonten konkoto nti uko hospital na one to ho ase even treatment cry de be ma no so one to ho ase wo kwan bi so na we health insurance client nko ade a ye office ya na wo so ba na ye ni akire na ye ne mpanimfo nko kasa na ye ma yie nto yie na akoma nko fam
Ora Felix Opoyeboa manager National Health Insurance Scheme Doma Central na ora yebo danso public relations officer kasama for Emma Ekuei ewo ho ono so etire mu se dwumadi amudi a omo kwa monten so ekotwetwe manfo di renew omo ka asema wo mo no enya afe no mo sha ase sensitive ab antico awoho emfie 9 eni
afibia Valentine special registration ye dema ye clients ye ne omodi juma sa afini nyina omo be ye insurance but Valentine ni dry ye say ye de oboa omo a omo ntimi nye insurance ni bi kura ti ye bo ho da ru na ya make sure say omo baba be ye insurance ni bi so that omo atimi access friends healthcare a omo metin dia ko hospital nti o hwa de wo kan nyina na ye special registration ye dema ye clients every Valentine day bia season ye episode 9 aye special registration e dey my clients ye ne omodi juma Odoma Central very nice ye preparation na eso but all the say na afibia no region no ye ni first na ya tosumi afibia afi say ye di first afibia anti no nipa ne doso yes still nipa ne bebre wo a omontimi nye but 80% of nipa na ye wo omo Odoma Central ne dey etima aka say omonyina etima ye health insurance omotinde ko hospital
Customer for Emma National Health Insurance Scheme. Ninkrabata wa Doma Central Crosino emono na. Sadi ya omo ye man microphone free nti. Wo mo boktre wo mudino ebi e de aseda kron man penifo e wo sana montua wo mato.
Me pese de me sha sia che ba me fanko hospital da. E me enyi miskana se me kura me fanko hospital. Nke se bia on hospital ni yade bia be chi me kwam. Ba me yade me nyare ko hospital da.
Faso en se me ya fama brebia me ko afom nya snake bite mo treat me free. Ave last so nya fever be wo mo treat na wo mo gem less amount. Na me bo de me de akwa mamba hospital prensa. So wo mo treat wo mo gem less amount sa.
Faso so baby de abo me insurance na wo from sine first ni mini bi no munjes nyani nyina na beje ba bi wo ho betwia bi wo ho so awuntwia yade bia na ne obeye wo ko wo men de no your patient o mo je me so mo anje dodo bias
insurance nde yade pane o mo de bo Ghana for e bo yen cause insurance ko ni mo anka me gini se asetra plan ya ni beje bi se insurance o mo start ya na me bi yade ba ko se me anka sa no me nyaro da enfan ko hospital brother be abo me ma de o mo de ko hospital ma e bo me bibri.
Yo, enti wamwa omunya faso every registration edi ntire wo health insurance mu womo aseda enono.
Na afimpinu ne duba akono 2011 woyo minsansam ne ade de sori wo manga na mu pa. Na nei wo wura ba ko esei ene wonso ne tuatwi. Na oye kwaduboni panipa yo wo mangana abando ya peniatna ye chief state attorney at the office of attorney general Ora Samuel Nekwe Tete wana sabre ye general legal counsel alo ya fonka bunku batan wonuma gina tukuo wonuma sigina ye se papa no wonuma twanidin ade afiri ado ya fodwumadiem wo manganam penti botoka sem ye se ya disbar no just a kind of sanwa won't to me and your lawyer. Ewo man ganam mubium, Ninkwan and lawyer, Juman Wabana we yet, oh man ganam. Na subo anase the entiama unuma to sanamon on chimua. Avimpinu ane adunu bako 2011, a bra woyomi. They were mangana call to near diano. Papa in ana age namum ama or mangana just say one ana or ye defense edema state or minor. Na anu na mariboa ondi batu jom chiremu a sabrenum papa no sei ema sikabi ya transfer sikabi de kokoto efiri woyo mi accountum ekoto wono ne yire accountum ya na ye o mangana ye sidi fufrei ne ye o pepe nan mpem a nan mum 400,000 Ghana cedis sabre no efri oyomi enchen ekokoto ne yire accountum ye bisa anse dwuma ben no ye ma woyomi ye no nti sasika no wodi tua ne ka ana se efri woyomi nchen na abo no ne ho akoto ne yire accountum besi sabre ontimi nya no nwie no nsi yo onko fie no onko to aso enti ye General Legal Council the oya trofo edema wonum we kra the Judicial Secretary Justice Cynthia Pamela Crantain ana ne sase nkrata ase ana ondi aba mountain so ya de omde babetu dwa no onchirem se papa no onuma disbar no kire se yi na firi ado ya fokunum enu nti ontimi mfra no ho lawyer na ibiem ontimi nya lawyer dwuma biem ontimi nkonko jucho obi court biem enu ano odi apem
yanko amanone ensem emue South Africa minor wamo bombofo ede abetu dwase asrafo bi omosoma womo so womo ko Democratic Republic of Congo enko boa no omo nkontia etutrafo a asori ewo ho no emumienu eja bia ka womo amoato nananom ewo nsiedo a meka sei omo nida kotomo jamo enkra no ekire se enya asrafo mienu pe no mo kae ebiso prade eden a womudu omo akọ Goma Medical Hospital a omo akọ he omo ewo ho no mo na emu na mpanifo asato aso abeka se enye so omo pa aba wo mu na nsiampo omo de ato bedwaseda omo de ato monte se asrafo empimienu ahankro 2900 omo so omo amomako Eastern Congo Congo minor epo ye femu amomako akobo omo akon etutrafo ye wa he ya tete se Congo manumu etutrafo sa atwom etutrodromu a ewo ho no mu kokura kutakura eye etuo ni ade no ebro be wa ha aduonu 120 armed groups ene wo a emu ba ko a from M23 ne so omo de wo madwene bone pa nya sabketo a wo mo ne omanfo edi esie e wo mam titru oman no asrafo ne sese etutrafo M23 no eye Rwanda asojafo bi ene hye tira omo atuduro ene akonde a omanya ahode a pompomfe a omo di nyamransem ewo Congo mine meche Democratic Republic of Congo ho
na Palestinian ni Israel sensem no say amanebo ya enso aba betodwa echiremu adwumaku ya wondin ene Medicine Sans Frontiers sabre wonsi wondwumani baako wonum na kira kwan na be donhwere aduonu na ye kire tupa ye bia pa ye ne ade be sabre wonum na kira kwan tupa ye ne to Nasser Medical Hospital na anumu no ana adwumako no panifo ade akwakoto X akane feda so ya wonsam ya wonum ekane se ese aye hu dia mo no pa frise apomdi adwumafo adokotafo ane wonum adwumafo ya na ewo Nasser Medical Hospital wonum no akwakoba se wo so obi adwane na woje ne kra nkwanti ayafo ne kra no a na wonum hwe wonum no yese no owuo na eba no wonum adwane agya ayafo ne wokra akọ akọ ba bia sha wonum dwumani baako wonum enhyeda hunu ba bia wone nam na no ana wom kirim se wom se Israel man ade tu dwa se apomdi adwumafo no betimi akoso a awo bia ho adi wonum dwuma na se wonum ayo ma dwuma ya biboni bia nsie ni ade na nso bra oni o ma dwen se pese o mu hwe no mbu ani ade no na ebinum kura nso pese onum efiri asabia ho no Israel fo no bebo checkpoint bia ni oduru ho no ni ear screening wo pese ofiri ho ani ade na aka obi ama Israel fo no akire wonum nipa baako ade no asie kwasi bro maka se onum detain no na no no nsi ba bia owo bia no onum sre adawroma se ne bambo ehia papa anunti wonum esrese adwobre
yanko Palestine Israel Gaza po kekra ensansam no emum enkuntabua aba ene sansam trofo a afi atwa mu 2023 ni mu no wo mu free mu no chese eye ediokronkron na emu ediosom mienu 72 no de wo mu eye Palestine for na wɔn egyina Gaza mpapra no so hɔ baabi a na wɔn to nkra ama nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ na ɔse ɛwɔ nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ adwumayɛ ɛne wuo efiri Gaza mpapra so no mu no anaasɛ mpo ɛko bi ɛte sɛ mu no afi atwa mu 2023 no deɛ wɔn bɛka sɛ ayɛ huhuhu paa ne nka nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ a wɔn kɔfa nsɛmba wɔn wuo ɛwɔ wɔn adwuma soɔ no yɛsɛ brano na ɛkɔ fam kakrakra na nso afi atwa mu no Gaza mpapra so Israel ne Palestine fo popo no a esi yɛ ne deɛ amana bɛyɛ ade twam wɔ hɔ no a akɔyɛ osu nko a awerɛhoɔ nko a enti ne nyinaa mu no so wɔde kɔ wahamo abupan mu a ne nyinaa yɛ wahamo abupan aduoso enu Palestine fo a wɔn afiri mu no ɛyɛ 75% wɔsi wei ehu paa ɛnam ho a ayɛ ho wɔ Gaza mpapra so no nti nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ yɛsisi wɔn mo sɛ ɛmɔ nkɔ hɔ nkɔto nkra bia emfiri hɔ ɛmmɛ bie mu ahwɛ yi a na birikyie kɛseɛ bi akɔfiri hɔ aba nanso wɔbusa sɛ Israel Gaza mpapra so Palestine sensem yɛbɛte hɔnom asɛm a agye sɛ nsɛntwerɛni no wadue mu akɔhyɛ mu akɔ ɛhɔnom baabi ɛhɔ hu no akɔfa asɛm no aba ɛsaa no ɛbɛyɛ dɛ yɛhu deɛ ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ wiase deɛ ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ Gaza mpapra no so na ɔsɛ ɔbɛsoma nsɛntwerɛni bi akɔ hɔ a gye sɛ bambɔ a ɛmu ɔden agye sɛ Israel akɔfoɔ no Israel soldiers abɔ ho ban akɔ hɔ na ɛkɔyɛ Palestine foɔ de a laalae ahwɛ a wukɔ yi yɛkɔfa wo ne yɛkɔpra wo akɔdi wawu akɔko ahwɛ a no ansa ama wabusuafoɔ hɔ bio
Ingresi abrochimam UK ni yegyina yi na etiawa amanebo ya abeto dwa ene sɛ ese Ingresi abrochimam UK wonsi kasɛm ne de ate asan nachi kwasi broni bɛka sɛ it's in recess ejira sɛ ate afa so kura ya wo manu kodontodie mu papa amambo kyire mo ese wo manfo nhyɛ da ntɔ ade sa adokotafo ɔte atua esuku mɔfra nyina akora ate atua kyerɛ sɛ suku kɔ wonum entai enkwa kan bi ama ese amambo ne se afra sɛ no ene ede ba besi kitansa July bosume no ene bobosume no mfimfo no ba bi de na wo mansi kasɛm na nya kura ya na wonum enim sɛ ebi a ebete akɔfom kora wa mu abupan hwe akiri pomiensa nanso ekoten sa akora ekotra sa no na aka obi ama esei woni ebu nkonta sikasem to ya ho wonum adi wonum ani abu asusuo se afie wo mu yi ane ne family no ye di kan ye first two quarters no se Ingresi man wonum sikasem anhyase se anyini na epusupusu ne ho a ane na kyerɛ sɛ no ano ebeto amene mu se kurunkron na dodo nso mbisa sɛ nya bia owura Rishi Sunak sabre wono ne bɔhyɛ ya ɔde ba yɛ sɛ wɔ ba benyini Ingresi man wonum sikasem ama ne matumi akoyie no anya bia akosi sɛn na ɛdeɛn na ato no obi a hunu ne yakoso obi a na aban no nso ma monten so ma kyerɛ kwane omu fa so na wonum atimi ahwɛ ama o man sikasem ya ɛkɔ research na ɛti asan na kyire no asan aba no animu ɛno ntie sei ayɛ the case is potchum kyerɛ sɛ English man wonum wasɛm bɔnepo.
They have a matter to potchum. Yo, yedi Kaseɛ no ebesi ha. Ni akofie yakope bresu anom. Yesodi a yenya mo ho. Ye change over, ye move over. You made your fufro take over. Edin be cross over. Na Priscilla ewa ha.
Tonso beauty queen.
Isi buama ewa ha. Ekwefriye ewa ha DJ Shabati ewa ha. Ora Emmanuel Korea cha wono ene yensamufo
ora why
Emmanuel Korea edro nyumre se ana o battery na charge ba no pa no me ajike grag time
akoto low battery
nti aje
nyumre na ko low battery
ko low battery
mo Emmanuel Korea
wa yonko se ba adwuma se be